There's a disease that's becoming a bit more prevalent in today's society, and it's not anything like COVID or some mystery virus that's out there. This one doesn't affect you in the nose or in your lungs. This affects the brain, and it's a very dangerous disease because anybody who is caught by this bug ends up starting to do some very irrational stuff. Things that could either potentially cause harm to others or themselves. And this disease is known as clout. Clout chasing has been a pretty big thing within the past couple of years, and typically it's shown its face in being a nuisance to other people, whether if you're a terrible prankster, going around smacking people, hitting them in the back of the head, or dumping poo on them while they're on the subway. It's becoming something that is unfortunately bad for not just the people around us, but the person themselves, because they realize that by doing these actions, it garners attention and thus potentially bringing in some money. And today is no exception, because we have another example of somebody who is trying to garner all this attention by basically putting themselves near death. So the channel that we're looking at today goes by the name of Boggles, which if you look at some of his recent content, you're going to be wondering what is going on here. Actually mind-boggling stuff. But before we really dive into what the recent stuff is all about, if you look a bit on his history through his YouTube channel, you'll see that he has like Fortnite stuff, Minecraft stuff, just some gaming stuff in general, which is probably weird 4 year ago kind of stuff. And looking at his Minecraft video was just like screenshots of things and him just having commentary. And then as you scroll further up and then you see the game stuff sort of devolves a little bit, you start getting more towards like the clickbaity stuff, the e-dates, trying like posting people's pictures of like more famous creators like Kai Cenat, and all that. And then we get to the weird shit, which I don't know how this was allowed to even be like posted on any sort of platform that has video, and we'll get into that too. But all of a sudden he decided that he wanted to increase the odds of him appearing all over social media, which has been successful, but also comes at a cost, right? And that is by taking a toaster, turning it on, and then jamming a fork into it. And this is terrible because, one, you're risking your life. If you don't think jamming a fork into a toaster is going to cause damage to you permanently, or potentially cause death, then you're just dumb. I don't have any other words to say about this, but clearly he's found a way to try and catch people's attention, right? You plug your toaster in, you stab it in there, and then next thing you know, you're freeze framed of you jumping back because all the electricity's coming out, because you're basically shorting your entire house at that point. And then next thing you know, you've got a bunch of people saying, "Oh, nice, let's go, let's go." When pretty much the reality is these people are cheering for this dude to potentially die in a way, which is sad because this dude is being fed to do this kind of content that's feeding him. If you look at his YouTube channel, with the 2 times where he's putting forks into toasters, they're the best performing videos that he's ever had. Almost 50,000 views. And who knows what type of viewership he had while he was streaming it on Twitch and Kick. But either way, it's just absolutely insane how somebody like this was thought, "Oh, I'm going to plug in my toaster and stab it to see what it'll do." And you can tell from the videos that he doesn't really want to do those things. Or maybe he does, I don't know, because clearly clout is a disease that is rotting the minds of most people today and are willing to do just about anything to get an ounce of it. And this is just one of those ways, right? Like literally in one of them where he stabs the two toasters, there was a frame where he literally shits himself on stream and keeps that. Like, is there no humility to any of this? Is there no shame to you or to the others that are viewing this to watch a man literally put his life at risk and then subsequently shits himself on camera for full view, whether if it was voluntary or due to the electricity, because that can happen. When you get electrocuted, your entire body contracts, and part of that is your intestinal line. So clearly, if your intestines are contracting, what's happening? It's gonna be pushing the brown sauce out the back end. I don't get it anymore. Like, why people do this kind of stuff is a question that I don't even have the answer to. I don't even think God has the answer to this kind of stuff. People want to be famous, and they're willing to do just about anything to be famous. And if people are being rewarded to do this kind of stuff, then they're going to do whatever it takes to get those few ounces. Who knows how long this guy is going to stay afloat having to do this stuff? Who knows if he's done permanent damage to himself? And rightfully so, because he streamed to Twitch. Twitch has banned his channel and should probably keep the ban. And from what I can tell, according to his Twitter, that he made an appeal for this ban and it was denied because he's literally causing physical harm to himself. He's stabbing a toaster, electrocuting his entire body, and thankfully, he is okay. But this kind of stuff could potentially kill him. And whether if he knows that or not, he's probably just doing it just because he knows that if he dies, at least he'll die with a name somewhere on an article. Why other platforms haven't taken him down for the same thing is beyond me, because YouTube still has his three videos of him stabbing a toaster and electrocuting himself. Kick also has that stuff up too, but Kick is kind of degenerate in that way because if they allow a lot of other crap, then I'm pretty sure someone stabbing a toaster isn't going to be the least of their worries. This is just another prime example, but in a different vein, right? We're so used to the pranksters, the people walking around being a nuisance. This guy is causing harm to himself, which is just as bad, right? Doing harm unto others is a terrible thing. But doing harm onto yourself for the same reasons of trying to get views and all that is just as bad. It's just a cycle of being fed all of this positive stuff for terrible things that you're doing. In a way, it's like a dog, right? If we treat these people like dogs, and I'm not saying that they are, I'm saying we're making an analogy here, all right? I'm not trying to insult anybody, even though, yes, this is blatantly stupid and you should not do this. If you reward a dog with a treat for its actions, it will continue to do those actions because it knows that if it does it, it's going to get a treat. So if the dog starts doing bad stuff, what do? You don't give it a treat. You don't want it to do that stuff. But if you give it a treat for the bad stuff, it's going to continue to do those bad things, like bark at people, bite at another dog. If you don't want that, don't give them an reward. And the same thing applies to people like this, where if you watch their views and you say www, oh yeah, super awesome, stab another toaster in a bathtub or something like that, you're rewarding them. You are rewarding them and enabling them to continue making content like this that is potentially harming them or others. So good on Twitch for banning them. YouTube and Kick should do the same, because if they're going to continue to make content like this, it's just going to harm him and potentially kill him. And I'm sure he already has permanent damage, because this isn't the first time he stabbed the toaster plugged in. You'd have to be out of your mind to think that this guy does not have a heart problem now due to all the stuff that he's been doing. Or whether if this is and if this is fake, then like I throw my hands in the air and say, good prank, bro, whatever. It still doesn't matter, because people who are watching this might want to actually try this kind of stuff. But I'm going to take it as real, Because if you look at how the videos are edited and they're live streamed, then like I don't know what to say other than don't try this at home. Don't be an idiot. Please, I'm begging you guys. Like, this should not be allowed. This should not be allowed for viewer consumption. I don't know. I need something positive in my life because there's just so many negative things that come out. Maybe I'll buy Pal World. I don't know. Either way, this is pretty much it from me. I wanted to talk about this because this is absolutely ridiculous. I like talking about smaller people because I'm small. I'm the smallest one right now because most of the people... I'm punching up, basically. So, I don't get it, man. I really don't. If you like this kind of content, like the video. Subscribe if you want more stuff like this. I'm out of here. I'll catch all y'all later. Peace.